Go.
All right, guys. I'm super excited to introduce to you guys Kelsey Smith. Her business is blowing up, and I've just loved seeing her grow from where she started to where she is now. She's such a huge inspiration to me, and I know she's going to light a fire under your butts tonight with her topic of just do it, all focused around taking action. So just before we start, I just want to run through some of her accolades. She is the founder of Team Simply Beautiful. She's a five-star diamond coach, 9-star combined. So she's actually 3-star in her second business center and 1-star in her third. Huge accomplishments there. She's a 2017 elite coach, currently ranked number 82 in the company, killing it. And she is a team leader in 2 of her business accounts, and she is a retired reporter. So thank you so much, Kelsey, for hopping on and speaking to our team tonight. You have my team and my success partner, Paulina's team, on the call right now.
Hi, guys. Oh, my gosh. I am so excited. I haven't done a team call in a long time, so I might be a little rusty, but I'll do my best to bring the heat. I do like to make sure that I warn everybody before I start is that I'm very passionate and I can't control what comes out of my mouth at times. So I might curse and sometimes I get really sweaty, and that's just like who I am because that's how passionate I am about this business. So I just let everybody know, and I see a child on here, so I'm going to do my best to not do that. So I'm just going to, do my thing. But but I always like look around in the boxes. I'm like, is there any kids on here? Because I'm going to be, I don't want them to like moms to hate me. But yeah, like generally said, I am Kelsey Smith. I have been in this business now for about 3.5 years, which is mind blowing to me. How fast that goes. And all that stuff that she just said is cool. It's cool, but I don't want to take the credit for it because you have to have a team to get that recognition. And I am never the kind of coach that ever says I did that because I led them to do that, which I'll take the credit for that. And I just wanted to say it that quickly it's really cool to hear all that and like hearing it back. It's like, she's not describing me, because I'm just another girl. But whenever I do hear it, I just always think about how excited I am that my team has made those accomplishments. So to give you guys a little backstory on who I am, where I'm from, I am a retired reporter. I actually did the news. I was the girl on the side of the street with the microphone, and the weather. Everybody was like, why the heck are they standing out in the freezing cold? I was that girl. I was the girl that was forced to cover tons of things that I didn't believe in, tons of car accidents, house fires, suicide prevention, anything you can think of, government, politics, anything that you can think of that just is not fun. That was my life. And that was my life for a very long time, 3.5 years. So as long as I've been in this business, I was consumed by that. And honestly, it was getting to the place in my life where I just felt so defeated. And I just didn't know how to control and separate myself from a negative work environment to a home life. So I always took work home from me. And the thing about news, as you guys can probably imagine, is it's ongoing. Like it's never shuts off. Life is always happening around us. And I always say, just for anybody that understands, like the news, it takes a lot to be a reporter because you hear and deal with a lot of terrible things. And you really get to see the world at its worst. What is on television is basically a very small snippet of what we can share from what actually happened to kids, to women, to men. I mean, it doesn't matter, but these criminal complaints, having to read through these and write up stories on them were probably the most traumatizing things I've ever had to deal with. And it got to the point where I realized how insensitive I became to it, where I would read it and I wouldn't feel anything anymore. And I was like, this is weird. It's just another rape. It's another this, it's another that. And that's where I realized I was like, I'm losing myself because it's not human for me anymore. And I never wanted to even be in news. I wanted to be a sports reporter, and somehow I managed to do that. So I was in a really dark place when Beachbody found me. I always say Beachbody found me and I didn't find Beachbody because I was very depressed. As a reporter, I was making $21,000 a year. So my paychecks are coming out to about $550 every 2 weeks. And my student loans were kicking in, and I was in no place to be, you know, I was making no money. I was broke. I was choosing between meals and gas. I was living in this really terrible apartment in West Virginia, where my roof was constantly leaking, and I would have to go take showers at the gym because my water heater was constantly broken. I actually had to turn my heat off in the middle of a West Virginia winter because I got a bill that was like $600 for heat. And I just remember sitting, and I'll never forget that moment because I just sat on the floor and just cried. And I was like, how am I supposed to pay this? I was like, I'm making $550 for 2 weeks, and this thing is one of my entire paychecks. Meanwhile, all my student loans are kicking in, and I'm long distance with my now husband, and life was just crumbling around me, and I was so depressed. And I was scrolling through Facebook, and I came across the post, and I don't believe it, and I'm sure that's probably how you guys found it too, right? Facebook, Instagram, or something like that. I believe that those were kind of planted there because if you guys believe in fate in the universe, and I believe in God, I believe God put that in that newsfeed for me at the right second, because I was 21 years old, and like not 21 years old and partying like a 21-year-old was doing. I was 21 years old and borderline alcoholic. Like I was drinking myself to sleep every single night by myself, not going out and partying, by myself. And when I found that post, it was with my coach, and she was standing there in her wedding dress, and she was smiling, and she was super happy. And I remember looking at it and just being like, okay, what's she doing? And then I was kept reading it, and immediately my head went into, this isn't real. This is a scam. But I'm a reporter, and I am a researcher. So I took the thing is, don't ever do this, because look what I did, okay? I took all the words she said in that post, and I Googled it. I never went to her. And I said, oh, what's Beachbody? Came across the website, went on the website myself, and I bought the 21-day fix on my own, which is why if you went to Summit, you heard Shalene Johnson talk about curiosity marketing, because when you give them everything, they'll go out and do it on their own. No offense to my coach. She was new at the time, but I went out and I did it on my own. I took it and I went and I bought it, and I remember messaging her after. I was one of these. I messaged her after and I said, hey, I just bought the 21-day fix because I saw your post and I'm going to be doing it by myself. And I was just basically doing blah, blah. So she's in panic mode as a coach. You guys know this. And they're like, oh shit, she went out and did it without me. She doesn't have Shakeology. I got to try to sell her everything. So all of a sudden I get this message back this long about what Shakeology is. And I was like, okay, this was a mistake. Goodbye. And I ignored her. I went away. And so I just got the package in the mail. I remember seeing how small the containers are and being like, what the hell is this thing? Like, I can't do this. But I gave it a shot. I went all in with this program, and I knew I was like, hey, I can do anything for 3 weeks. I went all in. I didn't do Shakeology because I didn't know what it was. I didn't believe in it. But I was broke and cheap. And I saw one day, after ignoring her for 2 weeks straight because she was making me nuts, I saw a post where she was giving away free Shakeology samples. And me, I'm like, ooh, I saw Autumn with it. I saw it in the background. I saw it on the DVDs. I knew it was starting to come into my head. And so never count these people out, guys. I'm telling you what. And I reached out to her again. And I was like, I want to try it. And that's one of those. And then she sent me the sample, and I got it, and I tried it, and I just felt good. And I was like, this is good shit. You know, like it was like, this is good. And I looked at the ingredients, and I was like, you can't beat these ingredients. So then all of a sudden I read her back. And meanwhile, by the way, I've been sharing my entire journey on social media as I'm going. And she goes, you should be a coach. And I'm like, oh yeah, I could never do that. And she goes, you're already doing it. And so fast forward, she debunks all my excuses. I remember how I don't have time. And I was working 50 to 60 hours a week. And I was just like, no, I can't do it. But she's just like, no one wants perfect. You know, nobody wants a perfect coach. They want somebody that's real, and you're real. You're like, you share how it is. So I ended up buying the T25 challenge pack, and then that's where my journey begins. I was never a coach that dibble dabbled, and that's my topic tonight, because the longer you dibble dabble in this business, the longer it's going to take you to get to where your destination is going to be. I knew from the moment I signed up that I was going to try. I was going to bust my rear end to get to where I wanted to be, no matter what. And I was like, if I fall flat on my face, whatever. It was. I only spent $180 on the challenge pack. Like, who gives a crap, right? But I was like, I'm not going to go down, not swinging. Like, I'm going to go down. I'm going to go for it. And before I get into this, I made you guys a really pretty PowerPoint. But before I get into that, I do want to say this. Before I talk to you guys anything about this, I cannot not go into this topic without talking about this first. And I know you've heard this word 1.5 million times from your upline and probably your star diamond upline and the upline above that. Vision, okay? So many times in life, guys, we create a vision for our business. Every single one of you probably have goals, right? You have a vision for where you want to go, how you want to end hopefully, how you want to end 2017, what rank you want to achieve, if you want to be elite, premier, whatever it is. You all have these goals. But here's the thing. You guys don't understand this, and it took me a while to understand this too. You can't set a vision for your business until you set a vision for your life. Because your goals for your business have to align with what you're wanting out of your life. When I went for elite last year, I had a back against the wall mentality because I just quit my job on January 8th of last year. And I knew, and I honestly, I knew I wanted elite. I could see it. I could smell it. I knew what I wanted. I knew what those flowers were going to smell like when they were right at my door. I knew what that call was going to feel like. I was so ready for it. But the reason I pushed for elite was not to be an elite coach. The reason I pushed for elite is because I had no other choice. If I did not achieve where I needed to be at the end of 2016, I would have to go back to a full-time job that I hated. So I had to align my activities every single day with making sure that I never had to go back to that full-time job. So you guys understand what I'm saying? Like, we cannot just come out of nowhere and be like, yeah, I want to be a 2018 elite coach. That's great if you want to do that, but why the hell do you even want that? What's that going to do for your life? Just, you guys want a shiny medal at Summit? Like, it's cool, but like, does that change your income? Does that retire your husband? Does that put food on the table for your family? It will. I tell you, when you reach that level, all that stuff is extra. Rank is extra. Premier, elite, that's extra. What you guys want to be shooting for is what you want in your life. So you have to remember that everything we talk about tonight, none of this matters if you don't have any clue why you're doing it, okay? And the reason is, and I want complete honesty here, I know I can only see a couple of your faces, but how many days do you guys wake up uninspired and you just don't feel like inviting? Anybody on here? Like, you're just like, it's not today. I mean, everybody does, right? That means you lost sight of your why. You lost sight of if you wake up and you don't feel like inviting somebody, you have nothing you're working for, because that's part of the business. That's how we get to where we're going to be. So remember that your vision comes first. So tonight, that's your homework, is you have to have a clear vision. You have to know what you're working for. And I don't care if it's something like a car. I don't care if it's for bringing I don't care if it's as big as retiring your husband. All I know is you have to be working for something. Then after you do that, you're going to create a business vision that's developed around the personal vision. Does that make sense? Okay, now we're going to hop into what I'm really talking about tonight. But I needed to get that out there because none of this will make sense if you don't even know why you're doing it. Okay, so in the words of Nike, just do it. All right, I'm going to start with this quote. This quote has changed my life. The only thing that I see that is distinctly different about me is that I'm not afraid to die on a treadmill. I will not be outworked, period. You may have more talent than me. You may be smarter than me. You may be sexier than me. You may all be all those things you got on me in 9 categories. But if we got in a treadmill together, there's 2 things. You're getting off first, or I'm going to die. It's really that simple, right? You're not going to outwork me. It's such a simple, basic concept. The guy who is willing to hustle the most is going to be the guy that gets the loose ball. The majority of people who aren't getting the places they want or aren't achieving the things they want in this business is strictly based on hustle. It's strictly based on being outworked. It's strictly based on missing crucial opportunities. I say all the time, if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. Will Smith. I want to reread one line. The majority of people who aren't getting the places they want or aren't achieving the things they want in this business is strictly based on hustle. It's the truth. And this is the kind of attitude that I go into my business with every single day. And if you want to be successful as a Beachbody coach, if you want to be a successful, think about it for those of you that, think about it in not just Beachbody. Think about this in terms of being a mom. Think about this in terms of being a spouse, right? If you half-ass those relationships, you don't have one. It's the same thing with your business. If you half-ass your business, you don't have one. If your business is not growing, and I want to make this very clear, if your business is not growing, it's dying. If you're not seeing growth, it's falling backward. So how do we get out of that? You have to be a you against you every single day. So when it says when I look at this quote, I don't look at it as like me against Jenna Lee. I look at it as me against who I was yesterday. Every single day, I'm like, okay, I'm not going to be outworked by the girl that I was yesterday. I'll outwork her today. She might be, all these things. Like, you might be smarter than me. You might be more talented than me. But I'm telling you what, the difference between me and many coaches in this organization and Beachbody is that I'm not going to lose. Like, I'm going to keep going. And that is how you become a successful coach. That even when shit hits the fan, even when you step in dog shit in the morning, even when you get stuck in traffic for 2 hours, even when you're late for dinner, whatever it is, you're still going to find a way to do the work. That's the difference between a successful coach and somebody who's not successful. So how do you do that? Well, 80% of success is showing up, okay? You have to actually show up. And we just talked about this. I'm not going to go into it again because I literally just told you. But my first tip for you is your vision for your life comes first. And then the vision for your business is second. I just covered that. So tip number 2. You have to show up when you feel like it, and especially when you do not feel like it. Because like I just mentioned to you, there are going to be days, and I know that every single one of you can vouch on this with me, there are going to be days where everything that can go wrong will go wrong. Okay? You're going to wake up to, like last week, I woke up to about 15 cancellation emails throughout my entire downline. I had somebody message me and say that they weren't getting results with Shift Shock, which I was like, okay, then you're freaking not doing it right, But I was like, all these people, all of it comes in at once. And then all of a sudden you feel so defeated. And I had every reason to just say, you know what, screw this today. I'm not dealing with it. I don't have to. I'm just going to sleep all day. But I still got up. I still dragged my butt into this office, and I still did what I had to do that day. Even when life gets crazy, and I'm going to give one of my brand new coaches a shout out for this. And this is unbelievable. And like I can't even just tell you what she did the other day. Her brother died in a car accident 4 days ago. And she messages me and she goes, my life is out of control right now. I feel so defeated. I don't know how to feel. And guys, this is a brand new coach. How many of our brand new coaches we know, something like this tragic would happen to them, they would fall off the face of the earth immediately, right? I mean, I would. I've been through this. But she goes, I just wanted to let you know that I just did my workout. I just drank my shake, and I'm heading down to the hospital to say my goodbyes because he was in a coma at the time. And she goes, and I can't tell you how much this business is helping me right now, because if I never met you, if I never had this team, I don't know how I would feel right now. And she goes, but even despite the fact this is the worst day of my life, I still have hope. You show up when you, I'm changing this one to be a Jessica, because I'm not telling you that you have to show up when you lose somebody, guys. But that's what makes the difference between a successful coach in this business and somebody who's not. It's the truth. And I'm not going even saying that extreme, guys. I'm talking, this can be as simple as the kids are sick, and that's going to happen. Or your dog needs you taken to the vet and you found out that you have to spend $500 on a vet bill, right? There's going to be stuff that is constantly happening to you. And I cannot even begin to tell you the amount of shit that I have gone through in the past 3.5 years and how I had to keep going through all of it. And it makes me emotional to think about half the crap I've dealt with, right? And I know every single one of you are thinking about that right now. The stuff that you've dealt with in the past, however long you've been a coach. Because if you can make it through that, you can make it through anything. So show up when you feel like it, and especially when you don't. Tip number 3, your coaches will do what you do and not what you say. One question I always ask people to ask themselves is, what I am doing right now duplicatable to my team? Would I want my coaches doing that? Would I want my coaches skipping a workout? Would I want my coaches not drinking their shake every day? Would I want my coaches not inviting for 3 days straight? missing out on social media, guys, they are watching you like a hawk, whether you believe it or not. So I'll tell you what I do, and you can take this with a grain of salt. My name is never not the first one with the highest points on my success clipboard, ever. You are leading by example. No one on your team should be passing you up. And if they are, then man, you better be standing up giving them an ovation because they freaking hustled, right? Because you're that high. I've had months where they beat me, but that's because they went off, because they were watching me. And every single thing, every week, guys, we do a beat the leader in my team page. Whoever's at the top of the leaderboard, we fight to get to the top of that leaderboard to pass up who's in the lead. It's fantastic because everybody wants it. And they get a $5 gift card to Starbucks, whoever's at the top of the leaderboard that week. It's so easy. My team is very they love incentives. So, I mean, I don't know how your guys' teams are, but not that you even have to incentivize them, but at the same time, like, realize they do what you do. They're not going to do what you say. Stop trying to be a manager to your coaches, because that is the quickest way to push them off, really. You have to be a leader to your coaches, and they're going to follow you. So whatever you want them to do, then you do that. One thing that I'm getting way better at, and we'll talk about this a little bit later in this, but one thing I'm getting way better at is I'm posting. I use Teamsy to track my business. I don't know if you guys use that. However you track your business, I encourage you to post it in your team page every day. I want my team to see me finish my bat every day. I want them to see how many invites I'm pumping out. I want them to see how many people I'm forming with or connecting with or following up with every day. I want them to see that I clicked the workout tab, that I clicked the shake tab, because they're going to follow that. Because if they think that I'm successful, then they're going to say, oh, okay, well, Kelsey's doing the same things that she actually tells me to do all the time, so I'm going to follow her. So that's why it's important. Tip number 4, what you're getting out of this business is determined by what you're putting into it. So think about where you're sitting right now. Your rank, where you're sitting in Success Club, how many coaches are on your team, how much money you're making. Sorry, Charlie, but that's your fault if you're not happy with it. You just have to work harder. So think about it. If what you're doing is working, great, but you can always be better. You know, you always have to be trying to be better in some way. And the thing is, like, you have to take ownership of the fact that if your business isn't where you want it to be, you have to, like, look yourself in the mirror. And I'm going to touch your second bit of homework tonight. So first is figuring out your vision. 2 is after this call, you're going to walk into your mirror in your bathroom and you're going to say, I am 150% responsible for where my business is right now. And I'm pretty sure that was tip number 5. Yeah. Okay. So that's number 5 is you have to take ownership of that. If you are not happy with where you are, guys, you have to take action. Stop playing the victim card. I'm going to tell you guys a quick story. This is extremely important. I'm going to stop sharing for a second. Here's a quick story. I gave you an example of one of my coaches that, you know, showed up during the hardest time of her life, which is insane. But here's another one. There's a dad, has 2 sons, okay? This is a true story. It was in the news. Terrible, but still. Okay, 2 sons. And the mom just died, and he was having a really hard time trying to provide for this family. And he made a huge, terrible decision one night to go rob a convenience store to get money. And he goes in there and takes a gun and ends up killing a mom that has kids and the clerk. He goes to jail, and he's sentenced to prison for life to kill 2 people. And the sons got taken and put to 2 different foster homes. And they grew up and did their own things. A reporter went and followed them and caught up with them both 15 years later. And both of them, one of them was in and out of jail for the entire time, addicted to drugs. His life is a mess. The other one was extremely successful, had a business of his own. He was married, had kids, had a beautiful house, was happy. And when the reporter asked him the same question, she said, how did your life end up this way? And they both gave the same answer. When you had a dad like ours, you had no other choice. Interesting, huh? One played victim, one did not. Stop blaming the circumstances on your business on everybody else but yourself. Because you're going to be like the brother that's going to be a mess, and your business is going to be the business that's addicted to drugs and going in and out of jail, or your business can be the one that's thriving because you took ownership of where you are and you can move forward. I'm going to go back to this now. Okay. So let's get real. I want you guys to think about this, and I'm not going to like make you guys do this on the phone on this while you're doing it now, but think about 3 things right off the top of your head. What qualities would your dream coach have? Okay. Think about those really quickly, and you guys can go into more detail later on. But just think about your first 3 things. I'm going to give you like 1 minute to do this. 3 things that your dream coach would have. For me, it's like, I'm trying to think. I don't even have my paper. I have this written down somewhere. Teachable, the student business. A go-getter is huge for me. Independent is huge for me. Okay, so now we know those. And again, you want to be as specific as possible, so take time, later on to do that. Then ask yourself, what would you want them to do every single day? Okay, so 3 things you'd want your coach to do every single day. So this dream coach of yours. Invite, do their workout, drink their shakes probably. Be vulnerable on social media, whatever. Where's 3 things you'd want them to do every single day that's like super important to you? Now I want you to ask yourself, am I being the coach that I would want in my downline? So that's the question. You want all this stuff out of your people, but are you actually doing it? Are you the coach that you would want in your downline? That is the most important question to ask. And I'm telling you right now, what I want you guys to do is with this little exercise, please, homework assignment number 3, go back and do this in detail. Okay, like whatever you're wanting out of your coach, then ask yourself, and I've done this before, or I had to sit down and highlight the things that I am not doing that I want my coaches to do. It's a really eye-opening moment, and you have to be very honest with yourself, again, taking ownership, but that's how you move forward. That's how you change. There's 2 types of coaches, guys. One is a busy coach. This is the coach that is not getting momentum. They're AKA, in quotes, I feel like I'm at a standstill. Oh my God, those are the worst. And they're always trying a lot of new things. So like every time like something comes up, they're like, ooh, I'm going to try that. Like they always grab the next shiny object. That's a busy coach. A productive coach is somebody who is setting timers. They're very specific with their time, and they're doing the vitals. Guys, you guys know that you're not supposed to be sitting at your computer for hours on this business, right? You can be in and out in an hour if you do everything you want to do. If you set timers correctly. It's important you know that. And again, I'm not going to go into this you guys, for the love of God, should know what this is. You have to be proof the products work every single day. Even as a 5-star elite coach, I am being the proof the products work every single day. Even when I'm a 10-star or when I get to superstar or my team's doing the same thing, that's the number 1 thing we talk about. My one-on-one calls with my coaches, the first question I ask them, and they will tell you this, is what program are you doing? What Shakeology flavor are you drinking this month? And how many times did you work out this week? That's the first question I ask, because I'm not going to even get into the rest of the call. They said, I've not worked out all week, because clearly we know what your problem is, right? It's important. It's the first thing that comes out of my mouth. The second thing that comes out of my mouth is, what was your top takeaway from your personal development today? Because if they tell me that they haven't read personal development in the past 2 days, there's problem number 2, and we don't even have a conversation, because your problem is that you're not reading, right? Even as a 5-star diamond elite coach, I'm still reading personal development every day. And guys, I don't just read personal development. This notebook right in front of me is my notes for my personal development. I take notes as I go. I don't just highlight. I take notes and I apply it to my life. Every single day, I spend 60 to 75 minutes a day on personal development. A lot. You can do this in the car, and I'm telling you what, I've heard this straight from corporate's mouth, so I will repeat what she said. If you are not doing personal development, just quit. There is no point in you being a coach. You can't beat that. Number 3 is a different color. And it's because it's for a very different reason. For the love of all things, if you are not inviting people to join you, what are you doing? Like, what's the point? Right? And the last thing is recognition. So back to the slide, a busy coach is the one that's over here freaking doing a blog, and she's, posting on Instagram and searching for hashtags all day, or Facebook scrolling, and she's telling everybody that this business just isn't working for her and she feels like she's at a standstill. Then you have a productive coach over here who has a very nice schedule, is very specific with her time, and doing these 4 things every single day, knowing that if at least she does these 4 things, she can go to bed that night with her head on her pillow, knowing she at least moved her business forward. Because no offense to your pretty blog and this beautiful sparkly PowerPoint, but this isn't moving my business forward, right? It's not. I mean, honestly, this took me 30 minutes to do, but that was 30 minutes spent away from my business. Stop doing these things. It's way harder, and I want you guys to remember this. It's harder to unlearn things. So this is going to take a little while to get used to, but I need you to make a promise to me, Scouts Honor, that you will stop doing this crap until this is extra, until you have your stuff done. Stop wasting time on your blog. Stop wasting time on pretty graphics. Stop taking one-on-one calls with coaches who are doing nothing. Guys, please stop. You are doing yourself a disservice. And I will talk, if you guys have questions on that, I'm more than happy to share with you how I make it clear to my coaches that they will not be receiving calls from me in a nice way. Stop changing shit. Stop being like, well, this isn't working, and what she's doing is working so much better. So I'm just going to go, and this might be working a little bit, but I'm just going to go take what she does. Stop doing that. Because literally you are wasting time creating systems. The shit's done. It's in the Coach Online office. They put it in the back office for us. Every single thing that a successful coach does, that our coach advisory board created that training. Like, it's good stuff. Stop waiting. Stop waiting for this perfect moment for everything to be right, because it's never going to be just perfect. It's not. And stop focusing on what you're scared of and focus on how to get through that. Everything is scary. This business was terrifying to me at first. I had to put myself out there. But I focus on what it brought me. And guys, one thing I do with my team is I post at the end of every night. I ask them how they failed that day. I say, how did you fail tonight? How did you fail today? And the goal is that they are never, ever, and I call them out on it, allowed to post the same failure twice. Because that means that you're not learning from your mistakes. But every day you should be failing in some aspect. And that's the thing you guys need to learn about failure, and I can do a whole other talk on that, is that you actually are failing every single day without realizing it. And we're so scared of failing, but we're actually doing it every day. When you're late, whenever things just like you slept in, or you didn't say the thing when you didn't say something the way you wanted to, whatever it is. So what you need to start doing is taking action. Actually do this stuff. You have to invite people. You have to share your journey with people. You cannot take a day off of social media. Every day, again, you guys know, I'm sure you guys have seen the rumors or the rumor mill. The algorithms on Facebook and Instagram change constantly. And every day that you do not post, you put yourself about 6 steps backward. It's not about likes. It's not. But like you going ghost does you a huge disservice. You need to start investing your time in the people that actually want to be here. Even if they're not producing, guys, even if they're not doing exactly, that doesn't mean that you need to give them one-on-one calls, because I don't give one-on-one calls to people that aren't in Success Club, but we're trying to actively get to Success Club. But if I see somebody that's showing up every single day, they're still going to get attention from me. They're still going to get mentoring from me. And I always tell, and when my brand new coaches, even if they aren't business builders and they're not just really going after it, I always make sure they're still in my challenge groups, I'm still investing in them, making sure that they're still going after what they want. Start spending more time on your challengers, because they're going to be the ones that make the best coaches. Do not ever bring somebody on and leave them hanging out to dry. That is a broken promise, and that is extremely screwed up. I just want to make that very clear. Nothing irritates me more than when my coaches sign people and then they quit. My coaches quit. Because it's like you literally just abandoned all those people that you promised you'd be there for. That's sick. That's so gross to me. So I literally will send vast emails to their entire downline just so I can make sure they know they have somebody there. You know, like I'm never going to let that happen to them. And I spend the majority of my time in my challenge groups, even more than my team. Start reading FNPD. I'm not going to go into that again. Start sharing your story and being transparent. Clear. It's pretty clear. Start believing in yourself. That comes with personal development. That comes with affirmations every day. That comes with doing things that make you scared. Belief is something you have to train your mind to do. It's not just going to happen overnight. Start connecting with people. Don't just be the gross coach that's sending all these invites out without actually connecting with people, because you won't have a business there either. People don't want to be sold to, guys. And then start being the coach you want in your downline. It's easy and comfortable to be good, but you have an opportunity to be great. And the great ones are the ones that stand out. Okay? They're the ones that achieve these great high fancy ranks. They're the ones that are building all these their team is on the same spot. And I honestly say, like, the reason my team is right now at 82 in the company is not because I'm just like this remarkable coach. It's because I am teaching my team how to stop being comfortable with being good. I'm teaching them how to be great. And that is more of an accomplishment to me than anything. Here's your non-negotiable. What is this, guys? Pop quiz. This is the vital process. And I was really excited that they put a name to it, because this is literally what I did all year last year. Everybody's like, well, how did you advance your business from diamond to what it became? And I was like, this. I helped a minimum. And guys, I mean, if you want to move faster, just a side note, like Success Club 6 will not cut it if you're trying to make your business what you want it to be. You need to be, for someone that's going for elite, I'm just going to put this out there because I know a couple of you probably are. I think you're going to be wanting to shoot between Success Club 15 and 20 a month. And that's just to move things faster, because you need more people to introduce the business to. I'm not really a cold invite to the business kind of girl, because I believe that I need to know these people, because my team is very special to me and our personalities are very specific. You know, every once in a while, crazy will kind of come into your team and they'll just like kill the vibe. You just want to try to avoid that at all costs. So I've had them, and they ruin the whole vibe of your team. So you need to just be careful with that. So you want to make sure, that's why I always talk about the vital process, getting them at least started first to get to know them, then introducing the business. And then you're going to help coaches help 3 to 5 people. And then you're going to do it again, over and over and over again. And that's how you become really successful. So what is it that you're working toward in grand finale? What are you working toward right now? Are you trying to earn your money back on Shakeology? Help 3 people. Are you trying to make an extra $200 a month? Help 5 people. Do you want to go on the free chart next year? Consistently help 3 to 5 people a month. Do you want to go to the party at Summit? Hit Success Club. Do you want to be a Star Diamond coach? Hit Success Club. Do you want to build a team? Hit Success Club. Do you want to hit Diamond? Hit Success Club. Do you want to hit Success Club? Take action. Do it. Do the things that you know you need to do every single day, guys, and you're never going to have a problem. The reason most coaches have problems is because they don't do it. So, in summary, this business has always been about helping people. And the moment you lose sight of that, you're in for a rude awakening. And I've gone through it. I've gone through, my January of this year was the worst month I had as a coach. I barely hit Success Club 10. And the only reason was because I finally realized about the last week of the month what I was doing wrong. And it's that I was viewing people as numbers, not as people. I had this goal in my mind where I needed to be elite again, and I was going to go for it again. I was like, I can't fall short. But it really, like, again, like I told you at the beginning of this call, none of that shit happens just because you want it. Because you're doing the actions to get you there. So remember that. If you're not hitting Success Club, you don't have a business. You have to stop being okay with ending the month at 2 or 4 or freaking 0. I literally, my coaches get their butts ripped if they end the month at 4. That is like laziness. Like, how do you end at 4 to me? Like, I just don't understand. it's like that final lap in the race and you're just like, whatever, screw it. I'm just going to go sit down over here. That's what that is to me. So our Success Club board at the end of the month, it says Success Club 10, 5, and it says close but no bananas because they didn't even, like, you didn't get it, you know? But it's not true. So remember, like, whatever you're wanting out of this business, whatever you're wanting out of your life, it comes with action. It's not even just this business. I hope this, like, affects your life, you know? Whatever you want, you have to go for it. But that's what I got for you. If you guys have any questions, I'm more than happy to answer.
Oh my gosh, that was such a kick in the butt that I think everyone on this call needed, including myself, because I'll be the first to admit that, so I've been moving, right? So I haven't been as present, and you know, this was definitely just a wake-up call for me too. So I know if I'm experiencing these feelings, that I'm sure the rest of the coaches on this call can think of something that is happening in their life that, you know, affected their business, and you know how they can do it differently moving forward. So I think that this was so amazing, and definitely what we need, especially in cup month, because taking action, getting out of your comfort zone is really all about what this month is about, and this is the perfect call for that. So ladies, do you have any questions for Kelsey? If so, unmute or type in the chat.
Have any questions? I just want to say I'm such like a tough love kind of girl. Like, I love to hear it, I love to give it. So this was like exactly what I needed to hear, and this is such a great call. So thanks for just being like 100% honest with us.
Oh, you're welcome. That's how I am. People always say, like, girl, you're scary. I'm like, no, thanks, I'm scary. I'm just real. Like, I honestly, like I said, I know what it takes, you know? I don't consider myself an expert by any means, because something new comes and hits me in the side of the head every day. But I mean, I know what doesn't work, and not doing anything does not work. You know, we can't live in this fantasy world where we think that it's just going to be like, you're going to sign up as the Beachbody coach and tomorrow you're going to make thousands of dollars a week. It doesn't work like that. You know, I mean, every successful person has to take action.
I also just wanted to thank you.
The actual activities are not necessarily hard, but it's showing up every single day and being consistent that's going to show you that growth in your business. And sometimes I think we tend to overcomplicate it and think we have to do so much more, and that's why we're grabbing at the shiny objects, when in reality it's like, invite, help people get results, get your own results, and that's really what it boils down to. Any other questions or comments, guys? I have a quick one, but I'll wait until anyone else speaks up.
I just wanted to say thank you again. This was amazing. I took a ton of notes. I know my girls will appreciate it, and just a ton of tips and tough love. That's what we needed. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, and I guess I'll ask my question now. This could open up a whole new can of worms and could be a topic for another call, but you spoke about obviously doing the vital behaviors, but could you run through quickly like what a day looks like for you in terms of your business activities?
Yeah, oh man. Okay, so this is a place, it's funny because everybody always thinks like, they see the things that I do and they're like, oh man, she must just have it all together behind the scenes. Guys, my life is a shit show, okay? My desk is so gross right now. Like, my house is a disaster. We're watching another dog. Like, my life is just crazy, okay? So when it comes to like a structure of my day, I can't give you a specific one, but I can say this. I can give you this. I have a non-negotiable miracle morning, okay? I don't wake up. I don't take my phone out of airplane mode until this stuff is done. So when I wake up, I wake up with my phone in airplane mode, so I don't have any notifications or distractions, because I know how many of you guys wake up and you're like, oh my God, life is crashing down. Like, that's the day that I woke up and had all the cancellation emails and like everything was just a mess. You don't want to do that. So everything, I turn off my Facebook notifications and Messenger notifications for 24 hours before I go to sleep, so that way none of those come popping in throughout my day, because that's a distraction. But anyways, non-negotiable miracle morning. So every morning I wake up and I immediately make sure I do at least 45 minutes of personal development. So whatever book I'm reading, I'm a big fan of the Kindle and the Audible together because I'm a very big fan of being read to. I don't know, that's just a weird thing with me. So I do both of them together, and so I can stop and highlight. Like I said, I take a ton of notes when I'm reading. Like I have a whole notebook full of notes. So I read and I take notes. So I do that for about 45 minutes because I believe that you need to kind of take action as you're doing personal development or you'll never fully grasp it. So I do that. And then I always listen to some sort of like podcast, like a 10-minute inspirational podcast. So it'll always be like John Maxwell or Brendon Burchard or Melanie Mitchell has a podcast now, which is fantastic. But I usually I keep that one to about 10 minutes. I don't look for something long. Then I also do Jesus Calling, which is an audible or a book. It's just a daily devotional too. So those are the first 3 things I do every single day. The next thing I do is I plan my day. So I have a planner. It's called the Panda Planner. And anyhow, if you guys can see it, what I do is at the morning, it tells me to write down the things that I'm grateful for. So I write down the things I'm grateful for first, and then I always write down the things that I'm excited about. So the first thing I'm doing is always focusing on gratitude and just like why I'm grateful for that day. Then it tells you write down an affirmation. So whatever I need to focus on that day, and I tell myself that all day long. So I actually take that and I make it and I put it in my phone, and it goes off every hour as an alarm to say like, hey, say this out loud, like I am capable of change. Because I'm not. So I'm trying to work on that. It tells you what to this planner is just great. It's honestly perfect for what we do. It's on Amazon if you guys want it. Then I'll say like my focus of the day. So today was just inviting. That was my entire focus. And I'll put down what exercise that I'm doing. So it's in speed 35. And then it makes me write down my top priorities. So I focus on that, what I need to get done. I don't care if I don't get to anything else, at least I got to these. Then on the other side, it gives you a schedule and then your tasks. So I do this, and at the end of the night, I do today's wins and what I need to improve on. So I do that, and then I take a little bit to just visualize. And this might sound weird to you guys, but like I sit down and I look at my goals and I read my goals out loud to myself 5 times in a row. It's so weird, but I'm telling you what, it really puts you into focus because I know what I'm going after every day. So that's what I do every morning. But then I'll take my phone out of airplane mode and I sit down, and then my power hour, if that's what you're kind of looking for, I sit down and I am a numbers person. So I go for numbers. I do 30 invites, 50 new conversations, 30 invites, 50 new conversations, 25 follow-ups a day. And what I do immediately after sitting down, said this. I actually have a running list. I have another notebook. I have so many notebooks. They're all color-coded, so I know which one's which. But I have a notebook. I originally started with 300 names. So I went through my Facebook, I went through my Instagram, I started 300 names. And every time that I go through, this is what I work from every day. So I'm not searching for people to start talking to. Then at the end of my power hour, I'll add. So if when I reach out to my 50, I add 50 new ones. Does that make sense? So that way I always have something for the next day. But the faster you can get ahead of it, like I got really ahead of it, so I never really run out. But I have that. So what did I say? 30 invites, 50 new conversations, 25. So I have my list. And when I'm done with that, I'm pretty much done for the day. I'll take about 30 minutes to answer my messages. My husband actually does my challenge group for me. So he'll go through and he'll answer everything in the challenge group. I do one-on-one interactions with them. But, I'm a very firm believer in all the posts never going untouched. And he'll always consult with me if somebody asks something. He's like, I don't know what to say to this. But most of the time it's just like you cheering them on. But that helps big time. He actually just started doing that because my list was just getting insane. But that I would say, let me see what else I put on here. Vision boarding and all that good stuff. But no, I just make sure I get that stuff done immediately. But usually that stuff is done. It's called the Panda Planner. Panda Planner. It's on Amazon. It's great though. I mean, I love it. And you can buy these like cool little pens, all different colors to make it like really fun. Did you guys see how bright and colorful it was? It's just like the cutest thing ever. So it's just fun. Like every day I'll sit and plan it out. And at night I can like recap and be like, okay, I had a successful day. I did everything that I said I was going to do. And now I can go to sleep. So, and if you don't get to what you said you were going to do, you know how to rearrange your day for the next day. So it works if you wake up on time. If you do not wake up on time, the whole day, like that's what today has been for me. I accidentally slept until 10, which was so bad. because I'm 3 hours behind on everything right now, so I'm gonna be up late. But everything is fun. Like, that's pretty much it. Do you have any? Like, was there something specific you want to know that I did? But like most of that stuff is usually done before 11, and then I go work out.
I love that. No, that definitely helps to give an idea to some of the coaches on the call. Maybe, if they are struggling in their business, well, maybe that means they need to be upping their number of invites or their new conversations. And maybe it's not 30 or, 25 follow-ups a day, but instead of maybe like 1 or 2, try to up it to 10 and see if that gives you any better results. Because like me, you do this full time, and I know a lot of coaches on this call don't. But like you talked about earlier, if you want to progress faster in this business and reach those goals, then upping your numbers is going to help you get there quicker.
Can I be honest again? Am I allowed?
Be honest, girl. I love it.
You will not move your business forward if you're only sending out 2 a day. I'm just gonna say that right now. Like, the minimum, bare minimum, is 5. I tell my coaches say that shit to me all the time. I'm sorry for saying that. They're like, I sent out 2. I'm like, great. What's that gonna do? Because it's like, now you need to think about it. What I also say, guys, is like, how many of you guys are consistently hitting Success Club? Okay. Go and look at how many people you have. Are you guys tracking your business? Okay, that's really important to know. The only a couple of you are nodding your head. Because I track mine to a T. I know how many invites I'm sending out a day, and I'm like, I know. So whenever I get a challenge pack sale, I look to see how many people I had in contact to get that next one. So that gets my head spinning to, it's like, okay, if I want to hit Success Club 20, my numbers had to go way up if I'm getting 1 out of 15 that say yes, right? So you have to that's the importance of tracking your business, because again, that's why, and I said doing 1 or 2 a day. How are you ever going to find out? Like, if no one's telling you, everybody's telling you no, which is the most common thing I hear from new coaches, that no one's saying yes, is because you're not asking anybody. So it's like, you have to kind of keep moving forward. But
I love it. I love it. Well, I don't want to take up too much more of your time because we know you're behind today. So we'll let you get back to taking action. But this call was just the kick in the pants that we all needed. Thank you so much for taking time out of your night to talk to us, Kelsey. Really, really appreciate it. You're the best.
You're welcome. It was so fun. Thanks for having me.
Of course. All right. We'll talk to you guys later. Have a great night. Thank you, guys.